Hey guys, it's Mark here, back with the next video, and today we are going to review the Grinmlore Tartan playing cards by Art of Play. This is the second version. I believe the cards are the same, it's just the tuck case that's different, but I could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure on that, but this is the V2, I know that. So we have the Art of Play on the back here, and then Grinmlore Tartan playing cards, and that gold. It's not, it is a little bit. The playing cards is embossed, the Grinmlore Tartan is embossed, and it is on the sides too, so yeah, very cool. And then it has their slogan, Epiphanies Await the Curious Mind. And, yeah, Art of Play, let's see, sorry, I was looking for, 2023, I just wanted to see what the year was on that. So, yeah, these came out, last year, I'm not sure what time, but, I also have a really cool magic trick, that I'm going to teach you guys at the end of this video. So, yeah, stay tuned for that, and I'm going to try and make the review a little bit shorter, just because I know, we're gonna have the magic trick at the end, but, yeah, some cool, before we get into the cards, and it is a borderless back design. It's got, sorry, what do you call that, man, I can't think of what this pattern's called, like flannel, almost, or, yeah, that's not it, but, it's, yeah, I completely forget what this pattern's called, or, plaid, that's what it is, sorry. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but it is a borderless back design, so as I always mention, good for, like, gambling or whatever, or if you're trying to cheat, that is. But, yeah, very cool, makes for very cool fans, being borderless, and, I have gone through these cards before. As you can see, they were opened. So there is, they're not in complete order. I just ordered them like either ace to king and then put them all in a pile. So, yeah, it's not going to be the exact order, like if you were to get these cards and open them, that they'd be in, but, they are in some sort of order. But, yeah, that got the gold, G sticker there for the Grinmlore Tartan playing cards. And then, sorry, one sec. Okay, so I had to pause it for a second there, but before we get into the review, a couple cool things. So I think I decided, so you can see, I'm going to switch the other way to make that easier. Right there we have the green and white overlook playing cards, and then right above that is the Curious Wonder playing cards, and none of those are opened. I haven't opened any of those decks. Sorry, can't think. Mysterious Wonders, right up there. Those are some of my all-time favorite playing cards. I've never used them, obviously, because they're sealed, but just going off the looks. So I would love to get another deck of those and do a review on it at some point, but I think a review, as I was saying at the end of the last video, that a lot of people would love would be either of them, honestly, but I would want to do the white overlook playing cards by Art of Play. Yeah, I'll get into it in another video, but I think that's what we're going to do for 75 subscribers, is I'm going to get another deck of those if I can find one, and then, so yeah, then I don't have to worry about, having an unopened one, or having a sealed one still, so yeah. Oh, also, I talked to a guy, super nice guy named Rob today from, Rob Stiff, I think his name was. He works at, Magic Makers Incorporated. It's called, magicmakersinc.com. They sell, like, a bunch of cool magic stuff, and, they also sell playing cards and, like, magic playing cards, for tricks, and, yeah, they have a bunch of different books and stuff, and I talked to him today, and he's going to send me, I believe, some cards. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure if they're going to be a regular deck of cards or a magic deck of cards, but yeah, he's sending me that, so that would be really cool to have that to review on the channel. especially, and anything he sends me will be great, but especially if it's a magic deck. I've never reviewed a magic deck, so yeah, that would be super cool. But yeah, so anyway, look forward to that in the next couple of weeks, and hopefully if we can get to 75 in the next couple of weeks, the white overlook video. But yeah, so getting to the ad cards here. So they don't really have jokers, they just have the one ad card, and then these 3 cards that all have just a beautiful, like, whimsical, yeah, I don't even know how to describe these drawings. They look like they're out of like a children's book or something. But yeah, super cool. Here is the Ace of Spades with the mushroom there, and the guys on it almost looks like a circus type vibe to it. But yeah, very cool. Not sure exactly how to describe it. And then I should mention too, I don't know if it's gonna show up on camera, but these cards, it's not your typical white. Like if I had, sorry, I'm just gonna do this real quick just for comparison. Always got another deck of cards next to me. But as you can see there, this is like a bright white, which most cards typically are. And this is sort of like an eggshell white, very light, very subtle, especially on camera, but it is not your typical white that you see on cards. Like I said though, I'm going to try and make this review a little faster because we've got the magic trick at the end. But yeah, pretty standard number cards, court cards, yeah, very cool. It's got that, like the colors themselves look bright, but they're almost like I don't know, it has like a pastel sort of look to it, if that makes sense. Like, they're like vibrant colors, but like in a lighter shade. I don't know if that makes any sense. But, yeah, super cool nonetheless. Yeah, very, very cool, court cards on these. Yeah, that one's super cool. Yeah, and then we'll go through the last couple court cards here. But yeah, not super crazy, but very cool. And then, oh, sorry, forgot we still had hearts. They said these are out of order, but I put them in some sort of order to make it easier for the video. And then, yeah, just standard number cards. But yeah, very cool. Let's give these cards a couple shuffles, see how they feel. And like I said, I've opened these cards, but I don't think I've used these cards at all, really. So yeah, definitely haven't used them when that's the first shuffle. But so they're not like broken in or anything. So this is, you know, as you're seeing, like if you're like, oh, those cards are sweet, I want those. Like these are how they'll feel out of the box. These I haven't really used them. But yeah, definitely super springy, super nice. You know what cards, Art of Play cards I've seen recently? I mean, I've seen and heard of them before. But I was looking at today, I believe they did them. It's on their website, so I'd assume they collabed with them. But Craig Hill, the playing cards they did with him, super, super cool. I would love to get those, the orange edition. But that's neither here nor there. But yeah, very cool deck of cards. It is, I believe it's so hard to tell with all the design. I believe it is a two-way back design. Yeah, very cool back design. Yeah, and then also looks cool on the sides here because, you know, it's borderless, so you've got those colors in between. And then when you do stuff like this, like, yeah, looks super cool. But yeah, cards feel very nice. I'm trying to remember, I don't know if, what cards were they? I did a review super recently, and it might have been, because this happens from time to time, I'll do a review and think, oh, those cards weren't as cool as I expected, or just the review itself is boring, and then I'll redo it at some point, or I try not to, but it's usually how it happens is like the Jerry's Nuggets. Like I did a review on those cards, and there wasn't too much to them. Like I talked about the history of them for the first couple minutes, and then they're just plain cards. I mean, they're cool cards, but the video was boring, so I ended up not uploading it. So that could be what I'm thinking of, or maybe it was the last video. I'm trying to remember what the last video I did was. But sorry, to say all that, one of the Art of Play decks I opened recently, it wasn't a newer deck or anything, I opened and did a review on. I was like, man, these don't feel like super good like the typical Art of Play cards do. Like, they didn't feel bad, but just like a tiny step down in Art of Play cards. Like, these ones I'm probably going to give a 9. Like, there's some better ones, like the Cherry Casino holographic, or like some of the Smoke and Mirrors or Dan and Dave's, but yeah, I gave those an 8 or an 8.5 because they weren't quite up to the standard of these cards. And at first I was thinking I was crazy, but now feeling these cards, it's like, yeah, good call. They weren't up to the standard. Sorry, I'm doing a bunch of shuffling here, but yeah, I just wanted to say that real quick. And I know they do work with different distributors and use different card stocks and experiment a little bit, so not every deck you get from them is going to be exactly the same. But I like that. It would be cool, I talked about this in a recent video, to have it say like what the card stock is and everything, but I don't think enough people care about that. It's either super slippery that would ever be something we get on a box of cards. But yeah, anyway, I'm sorry for the rant there. I guess it wasn't really a rant. But yeah, so these cards feel super, super nice. I might say even better than like the typical Art of Play cards. They feel great. But yeah, no, I buckled a little there. But yeah, I'll get the categories written down and we'll get into the review. Okay, we're back, and I remembered it was my last video, the Lady Moon playing cards. They still felt good, but not as good as these. And I was playing with the cards for another minute after the video. I was like, man, these cards, like, they just feel so nice. Definitely, if you're looking for a good feeling deck of cards, these are like up there with the tops, I think. So on that note, I think they're gonna be a 9.5 instead of the typical 9 for most Art of Play cards, because man, these just feel amazing. So yeah, super nice and springy. Yeah, perfect. I mean, 9.5 out of 10, so not perfect technically, I guess. But yeah, very cool court cards, number cards, pretty standard. I do like, you know, I've never really thought about it, but most of them have the same white, and yeah, just being slightly different than all the other ones is kind of refreshing to, yeah, just have a different color to look at. But sorry, I thought, there we go, that's what I was looking for. But what really does it on the Pips and Indices court cards and face cards and all that for that court category for me is the picture here, and then the 3 pictures we get from the ad cards or jokers. Yeah, the butterfly there, this picture, and then this one. They're all just so beautiful. Very cool. Like, any card decks of cards that I have 2 decks of, like these DKNG red wheels, I have 2 decks of. Like, personally, like my daily use deck of cards, I don't like to have the jokers or anything in them because I just pull them out and, you know, start using them. So I don't like to have to, you know, get them out and put the jokers and add cards and find those and put them away or whatever. So I'll use those for bookmarks, and I almost wish I had a second deck of these cards, just because these would make such beautiful bookmarks, especially with that back design. But yeah, it's neither here nor there, just something I thought was cool. But we're gonna have to give it, I think it's gonna be another 9.5. back design, very cool, for what it is. Definitely not like I say this all the time, but, you know, for what this deck is, I like the back design. Would I want this on a deck of cards I'm using every day? No, but for this deck of cards, I think it fits it perfectly, so for that reason, I'm gonna have to give it a 10 out of 10. Let's see, tuck case here, very cool. Love the butterfly on there. Really like the gold stamp. It is a little papery feeling. Yeah, it's cool, but not perfect to me, so we're gonna give that a 9 out of 10. And then cost for these has to be a 10 out of 10. I got these in a mystery deck, so $12. I don't know what they typically cost, but yeah, for me they were $12. I'll put the normal price if they have them on their website right now of what they are, but yeah, I got them for $12, so let's add this up. 10, 20 plus 2 9.5 is 19, so we're at 39 out of 40, so 48 out of 50 is the total there. And I'm gonna pause it before we get into the magic trick, because if I mess it up, I don't want to have to like cut part of the recording out, so then I can just delete that part and start over. So I will see you guys with the magic trick. Sorry. Okay guys, back with the magic trick. So I learned this magic trick from Matt McGurk, I believe his name is. He has a YouTube channel where he does a bunch of magic stuff, really cool, so shout out to him for teaching me this trick. I'll put his name right up there for his YouTube channel. But so how we're gonna start this trick is with Queen of Spades, and I have this card set aside just to make it simple for you guys, because there's going to be a card we're going to have to remember, and what's easier to remember than the Ace of Spades. So we're just going to set that aside for now, but it doesn't make a difference. I have to count out 15, so this is what, anyway, so I said this won't make a difference. I'll put it back in the pile in a sec. But so you count out 15 cards, and you're going to do this twice. And I found the easiest way is to count 1, 2, 3, and then 2, and then do that 3 times to make the pile. You can do 3, 2, and then, 3 again, and then 2 again, but I found just like the easiest way to make sure like I don't lose track is doing the 5, 5, and then 5 again, the 3, 2 to get to 5, but however, you can also count down 1, 2, 3, 4, however you want to do it. Okay, so now that, you know what, we're actually not going to use the Ace of Spades because I don't want it to seem like there's some sort of trick to this or anything. So, yeah, basically we took out, and this could be your Ace of Spades, or I'm using the Queen of Spades, but you can use any card. It doesn't matter what card it is, you just need to pick one card. In his video, he did the Queen of Spades, so yeah, we're just gonna go with that, just to make it simple, easier to remember. But yeah, so then you're left with, obviously we have 31 of the cards out, so a little less than half of the deck. And you will hand this packet of cards here, the rest of the leftover cards, to whoever you're performing the trick to, and say, take one of these cards, any one you want. And so if we'll do the Ace of Hearts just to make it easy. But yeah, they can pick. I said it's a mathematical thing that I don't know who was able to figure this out, because it's pretty crazy. But yeah, we could have picked any of these cards. So yeah, we'll go with the Ace of Hearts. So remember that. And before, you can do it before or after, but so say they're holding the Ace of Hearts, you're gonna say, okay. And a lot of this stuff you can have them do. So you can ask them, take both of these piles and make another pile with each of them. So basically cut each of these piles, but and then just set it to the side. So approximately, cut them in half. Doesn't have to be exact or anything. Just take the 2 piles and make 2 more piles with it. And so now they have their card, and you're going to tell them, set it in, I'm just going to move this so you guys can see a little better. You're going to say, set it in any of these 4 piles you wish. Say they set it here, they're going to set it face down. If they set it, so think of this as, this is how he explained it. We've got the top row and the bottom row. So if they set it in the top row, you're going to tell them either card you want from the bottom row, you can put on top of it. So, either one of these 2, doesn't matter which. If they were to put it on one of these 2, you would take either of, or they would, take either of the packets from this row. So say they want to take this packet, but it's okay if they take this packet too, doesn't make a difference. And also, before they do that, you can tell them to shuffle up the cards if you want. But yeah, so their card is the top one here. They had the choice between one of these 2 packets. They put a packet on top. And then we take the queen here in the packet that is now isolated because the one next to it was, the one that was next to it was put on the other packet. We take our queen of spades or whatever card you're using, and we put that there like so. And then we take this last packet that was on its own now, or the smaller packet, the one you haven't done anything with yet, and you can do this, or you can have them do this and say, put that packet on top of the queen. And so now we're left with these 2 packets, and you tell them, or you ask them to say you can put either one on top of the other one, doesn't make a difference, just one on the top of the other. So let's say they choose this one, you can have them do it, put that on top. And now basically the rest of this is you're saying, so we're going to go 2 piles, 1, 2, 1, 2, and so on. And you just have to make sure that you don't mess up the order. You go from the first pile to the second, and so on. And basically what you tell them is the queen of spades is going to find your card. So whatever pile the queen of spades lands in, the other pile is eliminated. So the queen of spades thinks your card is in this pile because this is where the queen of spades was. So this other pile goes back with the rest of the cards. We don't need it. And don't shuffle these or anything. Start back from the top. Same thing. 1, 2, 1, 2. And now the queen is in this row. So let's remember where the queen is at for the end. And then, yeah, back to 2 piles. Queen's in this one, so we get rid of this pile. We're going to do this a couple more times. You'll know when you're down to the end of it because there'll only be a couple cards left. Queen's obviously in this pile. So we take this one, do the same thing. 1, 2, 1, 2. And there's only one card with the queen of spades there. And what is that card? Their card. The ace of hearts. So, yeah, sorry, I hope I explained that well enough. If I didn't, you could go watch. Sorry, I forget his name. I'll put it up there. But, yeah, super cool trick. It's a mathematical trick, so no matter which pile or what they choose, it works every time. I just learned this today, and I've just practiced it a few times. A few recommendations I have for it. Don't use a new deck of cards like I did, because they were slipping all over when I was making the 2 piles, and it was just making it really hard, as you know, when they're like spinning around like that and stuff. So I would use a used deck of cards. And also for Magic, you just want a generic deck of cards, because if people see like a deck of cards like this, or a weird deck of cards, they think something's going on with it, or they could possibly think that. So yeah, use a broken in deck of cards. Okay, guys, sorry, had to pause it there again for a second, but yeah, like I said, make sure it's a broken in deck of cards, and just really watch it a few times, just to get the hang of it, because I know, like, I practice it, and especially when we got to that middle part, and there was the 4 piles, it was kind of like, wait, which pile goes on what again, and like what you do with all the piles. That was, in my experience, by far the most confusing part. But either way, yeah, super quick learn. Like I said, mathematical thing. So yeah, very interesting, very cool. Hope you guys enjoyed the trick. And I did decide 75 subscribers. That was terrible. But we're doing the white overlook playing cards. Gonna open those, or open a deck of those. But yeah, so yeah, look forward to that. Yeah, I've seen only a couple people review those cards, and they look super cool, and as you guys know, it's probably not as in depth as my video will be on them. But yeah, so look forward to that. We got 8 more people to go for that, so yeah, I'll get on that. Noel, I have those Knocktober playing cards on the way as well, and then yeah, the stuff with Magic Makers Inc. Yeah, I'm excited to see what that will be. So yeah, I've got the next couple reviews planned of what they're gonna be too. So yeah, stay tuned, like, comment, subscribe if you enjoyed, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.